What types of Sharia contract used?
Buy vitamin Ajin.
Okay, buy vitamin Ajil. So you need to explain what is buy vitamin Ajil. Okay, and then what else?
Musyarakah mutanah kisah.
Musyarakah mutanah kisah. Okay, tawarruk. Okay, so any syariah contract can that but must be suitable for the home financing. Okay, so 5 mark for each types of Sharia contract. Okay, so what question 1 carry 20 marks. Any problem with A and C? Boleh jawab soalan ni macam senang je kan. Okay, we go to the next one. Ini December 2018. December 2018 ni format yang lama. Explain the term mudarabah mutlakah and mudarabah murayamah. I think this one is incorrect. Soalan ni salah. Tapi basically student jawab betul sebab mudarabah mutlakah and mudarabah muqayyadah. Bukannya murayamah. I pun tak tahu dari mana datang ni murayamah tu. Okay. Define the term al-wadi'ah literally and technically. So you can see that the questions tu direct kan. Sebab ini bukan yang open book question. So they will test you on the knowledge and whether you remember it or not kan. Okay, and then accounting recognition and then journal entry. Okay, and then sukuk. Okay. Kalau tengok explain the following terms pun memang sedikit sangat explanation dia. 6 marks. So musyarakah apa dia, ijarah, definition macam tu saja. Tidak ada explanations on the application. Okay. December 2019 still not ODL question. Okay. Okay, look at this question and try to answer it. I give you some time for you to try to answer this. Later you can respond by answering this question or you can type in the chat box. Cuba buat dulu yang ni, soalan ni.
Okay, madam.
If you have any question, you may ask.
Encik ada.
Okay. Can anyone explain about istisna?
Istisna, there are two types of istisna, which are classical istisna and parallel. Classical istisna involves only two parties, namely mustasni, a customer, and a sani, manufacturer. The customer will request the manufacturer to construct a specific asset, and then the customer will pay the agreed price when the manufacturer delivers the completed asset. Whereas parallel istisna consists of a series two separate contracts, whereby the first contract is between the customer and the seller, where the seller is responsible for delivering the asset to the purchaser. The second contract is between the seller and the manufacturer of the asset.
Okay, yes, correct. The explanation to, okay, yes. Also the answers in the chat box also correct. You need to answer it. Kalau kita tengok tu 6 mark meanings 3 marks for classical and 3 marks for parallel istisna. You should explain at the beginning of the transaction until the delivery of the product. Yeah. So yang macam Nur Akilah explain tadilah, ya, from the beginning till the product is delivered to the buyer. Okay. And then explain the difference between salam and istisna.
Doctor, can I try?
Yes.
Salam contract is a sale contract where the seller sells a specific commodities to the buyer on at an agreed future date, and the price must be fully paid in advance, which is on spot basis. But for istisna, the buyer requests the manufacturer to construct the asset, and the price can be paid on either on cash basis or on a agreed period.
Okay. Yes, correct. That is also correct. On what is salam and istisna, and obvious differences is on salam. There is a need to pay in full at the beginning, and istisna can be made interval. Full pun boleh. Okay, and then about buy bitaman ajil. I think in the slide pun ada basically the application of buy bitaman ajil in the book. Does anyone would like to try? Explaining the applications of buy bitaman ajil. Anyone?
Madam, I would like to try.
Okay.
So firstly, a customer purchases a house by executing sale and purchase agreement with the developer. Normally, customer is required to pay 10% of the price of the asset as a down payment. And upon execution of the agreement, the ownership of the house is transferred to the buyer. Secondly, the customer approaches the bank and applies for facility to finance the remaining 90% of the house price. And then thirdly, to finance the remaining balance, the bank will purchase the house from the customer on cash basis and execute asset purchase agreement. So the ownership of the house is transferred to the bank. Next, the bank will subsequently sell the house to the customer. The ownership of the house is now transferred to the customer, and payment to the bank is made on deferred as stipulated in the asset sale agreement. And lastly, the customer makes periodic payment plus profit to the bank.
Yes, correct. The customer purchased the house, sell it to the bank, and then the bank sell the house back to the customer and paid on installments, deferred basis. Okay. So any problem with any questions for A, B and C?
No, madam.
Okay, so boleh jawab ni kalau soalan macam ni ya. Tapi kalau DL, this one is July ya. Kita tengok this one is February ya. The one that I shared in the WhatsApp group, the format of the questions is a bit different. Soalannya lagi panjang, okay. Markahnya masih lagi 20 tapi soalan lagi panjang, dia fokus kepada application lah. Okay. Kalau you tengok soalan ni, Encik Amir works at the Go, Sdn Berhad as an accountant. At the end of 2020, his company announced wages increment for Encik Amir as he helped the company to sustain during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Encik Amir plans to buy a new car and considering applying for car loan from bank. Below are the options that Encik Amir has. Yeah. Obviously, this is a conventional bank. This one is Islamic bank. Okay, you can see that the item here are different. For conventional, cost of car, interest rate, tenure, monthly installment and total repayment. For Islamic bank, bank buying price, profit rate, repayment period, monthly installments, bank selling price. Yeah. Encik Amir realised that for both options, he has to pay extra amount. Kalau tengok dia harga kereta 40,000 tapi dia pay extra kan, 45, yang ni 50. To pay extra amount in addition to the cost price of the car, even though there are two different types of bank. He noted that the extra amount charged by the bank is for different purposes. Okay. This one is interest rate, this one is profit rate. He also noted that there are specific requirements to make a contract valid for a car financing of bank Alpha Islamic, full stop. Explain two possible causes of the differences between both bank. Okay, I give you some time for you to think of how to answer these questions. Any question? Anyone? Okay, Encik Amir realised for both options explain two possible causes of the differences. Anyone?
Doctor, can I try? Can we say for the conventional bank, it do not follow the Sharia requirement which prohibit the riba. And for the Islamic bank, it follow the Sharia law, and there is no interest charged to the principal amount.
Okay. You can say that the difference that we can see is that commercial bank has interest rate, whereas Islamic bank use profit rate. It is because commercial bank applies riba or interest. However, Islamic banking prohibits riba and they apply specific Islamic contract. Okay. So you terangkan dulu perbezaannya apa and then the reasons. Jangan reasons dulu baru you relatekan kepada table yang dua tu. Okay. Bila you dah cakap macam tu, apakah what you can also add about the why Islamic bank prohibits riba? Okay. So kenapa Islamic bank prohibits riba?
Do we need to state the consequences if we use the riba?
Yes. Boleh? Apa dia? Apa dia consequencesnya?
If the society use riba, it will corrupt the society and it will cause the rich people to take over the poor people.
Okay, bukan society yang applies riba bank tu ya. Okay. Okay, boleh accepted. Meaning you explain about the different requirement. Because of that, there is a different interest rate, rate. Okay, different requirement for Islamic bank, prohibitions of riba, and then consequences of riba. Okay, kalau you tengok markah tu, two possible causes of difference between both banks. So yang you terangkan tadi boleh jadi satu cause, one possible cause. How about the next reason for the differences?
Doktor, kalau cakap Islamic banking ni punya installment is higher because it requires more documentation from Islamic contract. Betul tak?
Boleh, tapi kalau you boleh bagi sources pun boleh juga ya. Macam boleh lah, tapi yang tu tak berapa nak kuat because it is not clear, conventional bank tu, is it less documents? Is it definite lah macam tu? Any other reasons? Any other reasons for the difference?
Madam, for this question, can we use the differences in Islamic banking and conventional banking?
Okay, yang mana boleh you gunakan, tapi yang mana yang boleh illustrate disebabkan perbezaan tersebut berlakunya perbezaan ni yang relate kepada soalan lah maksudnya.
Okay.
Contoh macam Islamic banking is not permissible to use riba. That's why they are required to apply specific syariah contract. So you terangkanlah example of syariah contract. Apa syariah contract yang untuk vehicle financing biasanya? Syariah contract apa?
Ijarah summa al-bai'.
Ya, ijarah summa al-bai' ataupun murabahah. For example, murabahah cost plus profit kan. Sebab itu mungkin dia letakkan situ profit rate. Ya, you terangkanlah sedikit berkenaan dengan apakah syariah kontrak yang sesuai. Instead of just giving car loan, Islamic banking use syariah contract. Katakan kalau you nak gunakan the difference between Islamic banking and conventional banking, dalam point di situ ada di-highlightkan Islamic bank should appoint syariah committee kan. Tapi kalau kita masukkan di dalam explanation ni, that Islamic banking has to appoint syariah committee, dekat mana kita nak relatekan kepada soalan ni? Faham tak? So tak semestinya kita ambil aja point the differences between Islamic bank dengan conventional bank tu dalam ni. Tapi kalau you nak cerita pasal riba, nak cerita pasal syariah contract, yang tu boleh.
Okay, Doktor.
Cerita pula lah contoh macam syariah contract ni, Islamic banking need to have the elements of syariah contract which are contracting party, subject matter, offer and acceptance to make the syariah contract valid. Boleh juga. So boleh dapatlah 10 marks. Okay, sebenarnya nak tanya you all the difference, the content about the concept of Islamic banking lah sekarang ni, ya, untuk A. Okay, for B, tadi someone mentioned about al-ijarah summa bai. Tapi sekarang ni Encik Amir continue to shop around for car financing and later decided to buy a car using Al-Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik from one Islamic bank in Malaysia. Explain the application of Al-Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik car financing. Anyone? Anyone?
Madam, can I try?
Yes, please.
So, Ijarah Muntahiyah Bil-Tamlik is a contract that is accompanied with an option to transfer the ownership of the lease asset to the lessee at the end of the lease period. So, for the application for car financing for Encik Amir is firstly, the bank will pay the manufacturer or vendor the price of the product, which is the car, to be leased. And then the vendor will usually deliver the car to the bank's customer, and the customer will then make a series of rental payments over the term of the Ijarah contract. And then lastly, the bank will sell the car to the customer at the end of the Ijarah term.
Sell the car at the end of term tu itu macam Al-Ijarah Summa Buy kot. Is it? Itu pun Al-Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik ke?
If I'm referring to this, what is this? This PDF, it says if it is a Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik, the bank sells the car to the customer at the end of the Ijarah term. So, madam, does this mean that it doesn't always mean selling the asset?
It is difficult. It is depends on the bank actually. Macam mana dia punya operation ya. Whether at the end tu when they want to transfer the ownership, there is a sales and purchase happen. Okay, however kalau by in general explanation of Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik, the bank buy the car buy the car and lease it to the customer, and then the customer pay the lease. The lessee pay the leasing fee tu, and then at the end the car will be transferred. The ownership of the car will be transferred to the bank. Okay, and then kalau Al-Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik, at the end the bank will sell the car to the customer. Itulah, tapi it depends on the on the bank lah. I think I will accept both lah. Al-Ijarah Bitahliah Bitamlik and Ijarah Sumabai. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Let's check in the textbook kalau ada. Sekejap. How about everyone else? Do you have the same answer? Ijarah Muntahiyah Bitamlik. 150. Kalau explanation of wa'ad pun boleh juga. Biasa dia akan ada wa'ad. At the end, at the beginning of the transactions, there is a wa'ad undertake that the customer will purchase the car and sell by the bank. So I think yang penting at the end tu the ownership is transferred to the customer. Okay. Any questions? A and B untuk soalan ni? Okay. So let's look at July 2021. This is previous semester. Cik Amir lagi. Okay. Okay, musyarakah mutanakisah. Anyone would like to try or type your answer in the chat box? I think for musyarakah mutanakisah, the diagram also available dalam slide kan. So tak ada masalah lah untuk dapatkan jawapan. This one is the open book exam kan. It is when the bank and the customer purchase the house together. Customer pays 10% and the bank pay, for example, 90%. So gradually the ownership of the bank reduce till the end of the tenure. The house is owned fully by the customer. Kalau you menerangkan tentang syariah contract, you should cover from the beginning till the transfer of the product. Yeah? Any question, A?
Doctor, for the time mark, we need to answer like the procedure in order to get into the musyarakah mutanakisah contract.
Macam mana?
For the answer for this question, we need to answer according to the procedure for Encik Amir to enter the contract in buying the house.
Yes.
We do not have to tell what is the musyarakah mutanakisah.
Kenalah juga you terangkan. Okay. Any other questions for A? Okay. Basically kalau dalam musyarakah mutanakisah, dalam soalan ni you akan explain macam your friend cakap tadi. Kalau you nak terangkan daripada awal Encik Amir about how to apply for musyarakah mutanakisah, and then what is musyarakah mutanakisah, explain about the joint ownership of the house, and then also tadi I lupa include the explanation about the lease, ijarah. Sebab semasa during the tenure of musyarakah mutanakisah, the bank will lease their portions of the house to the customer. Okay. And then the customer gradually acquire the bank initial ownership share. Okay. And then the financing ends when the customer own 100% of the asset lah. Okay, and then guidelines on product transparency and disclosure issued by Bank Negara Malaysia require financial provider to provide essential information about product and services that they offer, However, a recent research revealed a low level of awareness among consumers on the existence and purpose of product disclosure sheet. Explain the benefit. You can also refer to the guidelines. Apa guidelines tersebut berkenaan dengan the requirement of the product transparency and disclosure, so that you can find about the benefit of the product disclosure sheet. Or because you may already begin with your assignment, your group assignment on Syariah contract. So what do you think is the benefit of having product disclosure sheet? Sorry ya kalau ada background suara tu sebab ada dua online punya meeting sekarang ni. My husband tu pun online meeting. Okay. So what are the benefit that you can think of?
To help consumers make informed decisions when purchasing a financial product based on a clear understanding of the main features and risks of the product.
Okay, yes. Okay, what are other information available in the product disclosure sheet? They will have information about the product in the product disclosure sheet. What are other types of information provided in the product disclosure sheet? You kan dah tengok product disclosure sheet, apa lagi info yang ada?
What is the product about?
Yes.
The obligations for the customer, the fees and the charges that the customers have to pay.
Okay.
The obligations of the customer.
Yes, the obligations, the late payment charges, the risk, the Syariah contract use. Okay. What else about the benefit of the product disclosure sheet? Other benefit?
The product disclosure sheet will give the customers and the understanding of the risk and return and any fees and charges on the product provided, and it will give information that will assist the customer in deciding whether to invest in a financial product.
Okay, boleh. And they can also make comparison lah, between two Islamic banking that offer similar product lah, if they refer to the product disclosure sheets. Okay, and then there are two. Okay, explain 3 factors that cause low awareness among consumers of the product disclosure sheets. Okay. Okay, when you look at the product disclosure sheets, and then when you try to find product disclosure sheet, what do you think can be the causes of the low awareness? maybe tak tahu pun berkenaan dengan product disclosure sheet. What are the factors of the low awareness? Anyone? Yes?
Maybe the term that used in the product disclosure sheet are difficult to understand by the buyer.
Okay, boleh? Good one. Okay, maybe because they do not understand, so they just ignore, or they just do not read the product disclosure sheet because lack of understanding of the content of product disclosure sheet. Okay, what else?
Maybe because most cases the product disclosure sheet was presented to consumer only after a decision had already been made to purchase a product.
Okay, so maybe at the beginning when they approach the bank, the bank do not give them the product disclosure sheet because of their operations or their mechanism is that they will give it after the customer confirm to purchase the product. Okay, any other reasons? Any other reasons? Ignorance lah, maybe ignorance. The customer only focus on getting the approval of their financing application instead of understanding or getting to know about the product criteria that is included in the product disclosure sheet. They focus on getting the approval. Okay, so that is 6 marks, 2 points, three factors. Okay, so you can see that I don't know, maybe the questions is being more difficult lah compared to the earliest questions, ataupun it will be easier ke, I pun tak tahu, but then the way you answer these questions is basically you need to use your knowledge and present it in a way that is sufficient for the mark and actually answering the questions. Okay, any questions for Syariah contract? Question 1, final assessment Syariah contract, 20 marks. Okay. Any question about Syariah contract or about your